हाय गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। थर्सडे शाम हमारा 16th वेबिनार। 65 डेज हो चुके हैं लॉकडाउन के। आई रिमेम्बर जब लॉकडाउन शुरू हुआ तो बच्चे बहुत खुश हुए, कल से स्कूल नहीं जाना है, छुट्टियां हो गई, अनअनाउंस्ड छुट्टियां। अभी अभी पेपर खत्म हुए थे, जाना था स्कूल एंड नाउ अनअनाउंस्ड इनडेफिनेटिव मोदी अंकल ने हमें छुट्टी कर दी। इट वॉज अ वेरी गुड टाइम, फैमिली टाइम, ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स टाइम, संस्कार मिलेंगे, रामायण देखेंगे, लूडो की सेल बढ़ गई, सब लोग मास्टर शेफ बन गए, क्वारंटाइन फूड्स आने शुरू हो गए। बट बिफोर इवन वी वेंट इनटू द लॉकडाउन टू, द पेरेंट्स स्टार्टेड रियलाइजिंग स्कूल खुलेगा कब, ये जो इतनी एनर्जी है बच्चों के अंदर, इसका हम क्या करें। चिल्ड्रन कांट गो आउट, दे कांट प्ले, नो डांस क्लासेस, नो स्विमिंग, ओनली टीवी, आईपैड, लैपटॉप। हाउ मच स्क्रीन टाइम टू हैव, व्हाट अबाउट साइबर बुलिंग, मेरा बच्चा देख क्या रहा है मुझे यही नहीं पता। एंड बच्चे को जब देखो भूख लगी रहती है, अब तो दादी भी अपने पास नहीं बिठाती है। एंड देन व्हाट्स हैपेंड इज कि कंपनीज ने बोला कि पेरेंट्स को सैलरीज चाहिए तो दे नीड टू वर्क फ्रॉम होम। द सेम होम became an office, a home, and a school. And what I really feel is that the home, which was primarily for the children after school, we started intruding into their space. The parents were also at home, the grandparents were also at home, the family was at home. We literally intruded in their place, and then came that onslaught of online classes. पहले पेरेंट्स को सिर्फ होमवर्क करना पड़ता था, अब पेरेंट्स को क्लास वर्क भी करना पड़ता है, एंड दे हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट देयर चिल्ड्रन आर ऑनलाइन। Amongst all these things, the worry of corona, children already had health issues. Now what happens to the new issues? Psychological issues, metabolic issues, mental issues. Corona to nahi ho jayega. And with the stress of parents with job losses, reduced salaries, more work, अब तो कोई टाइम ही नहीं बचा। पहले तो पापा को 6 बजे के बाद बंद ऑफिस से घर आ जाते थे, अब तो रात को 9 बजे भी कॉल्स आते हैं। How do you deal with all this? And that's why we thought, let's talk about kids in COVID times. How crucial is to address the impact of COVID on kids. So today again I have a very, I would say, interesting and curated panel with me. I have two pediatricians, rather I would say one neonatologist and one pediatric endocrinologist. I have a child psychiatrist, and I have an educationist with me to answer numerous questions which we got from our employees and our viewers on Facebook. So let me first introduce Dr. Sanjay Wazir. He's a renowned neonatologist and pediatrician and director of neonatal intensive care units with Cloud9 Hospitals. He completed his gold medalist. He's a gold medalist in MD Pediatrics and did his DM in neonatology from the reputed PGIMR Chandigarh. With around 20 years of extensive experience in the field of pediatrics and he has been actively involved in teaching and has worked as a visiting faculty across various colleges and forums. He was a chairperson of Central Indian Academy of Pediatrics Neonatology Chapter and is involved with running the fellowship in neonatology across more than 60 centers in the country. He is also a visiting fellow for Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health, London. With over 27 publications under his name, he is also a reviewer for medical journals like International Journal of Neonatology and Indian Journal of Pediatrics. He was the former president IIP Gurgaon and Haryana Neonatal Forum. Dr. Sanjay's zeal and passion in the field has resulted in inception of Dr. Wazir Premature Baby Foundation, which aims to create awareness regarding prematurity, advocacy of rights of premature babies, education regarding NICU practices, and help poor patients. His areas of interest are neonatal ventilation, nutrition, and asphyxia. I welcome you, Dr. Wazir.
Thank you for that elaborate introduction.
We also have Dr. Saurabh Uppal again from Jalandhar, and Dr. Saurabh Uppal is the only panelist who has come twice on our webinars. As you know, he's a pediatric endocrinologist, an MBBS from Chandigarh Medical College, and a MD in pediatrics from GMC Amritsar. He also holds MRC PCH from the Royal College, England. He holds a fellowship in pediatric and adolescent endocrinology from Manipal Advanced General Center, Bangalore, and a postdoctoral fellowship of the European Society of Pediatric Endocrinology from Elder Hay Children's Hospital, Liverpool. He's a published author with several research papers and 3 textbook chapters to his credit, and a reviewer of Journal of Indian Pediatrics and several open access journals in endocrinology. His areas of interest are childhood growth and advanced childhood diabetes care. Saurabh, welcome again.
Thank you, Dr. Thupral. It's a pleasure to be back again.
Great. We always want to have you here. I also have from far south Chennai, Dr. Bala. Dr. Pungudi Bala has completed psychiatry training and super specialty training in child psychiatry in UK, following which she was working as consultant in child and adolescent psychiatry in Manchester before moving to Chennai. She has overall 11 years of psychiatry experience. Dr. Bala has presented in UK international conferences and national conferences in India. Her areas of special expertise include autism, ADHD, personality development, life skills training, behavioral management, psychotherapy, and parenting guidance. She has also written articles in Anand Viketan, which is a popular weekly magazine, and participated in numerous TV interviews. She has conducted stress management works for schools and college students, and is currently working as a consultant child and adolescent psychiatrist in Kaizen Mind Care, Chennai, and a visiting consultant in Sri Ramachandra Medical College Hospital, Chennai. Welcome, Dr. Bala. And last but not the least, we have Anju Wal. She is the founding principal of Shiv Nadar School, Faridabad, is an educator for close to 30 years of experience and a passionate teacher. She started her career in Study Hall School, Lucknow, where she spent 10 years as a founding teacher, touching a wide spectrum of age groups from 5 years to 18 years old. She has been in leadership roles for over 15 years, and her last assignment was with Jaipuria Group of Schools in Lucknow City, where she headed the institution for 5 years before shifting to NCR to become a part of Shiv Nadar Schools. As a teacher of English literature and principal, she has left her inedible mark on lives she touched through her teaching and mentoring. Miss Wall studied at Materdi School, Delhi, a postgraduate in English literature. She studied at the prestigious Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi, and dabbled in theatre, debating, and writing. She plunged into advertising and journalism right after college and worked in different cities with Business India magazine before she found her calling in education. Her intrinsic love for children is the pivotal reason that she is in continued engagement in school. I welcome you, Anju.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how we have constructed today's webinar is that we are going to touch every part of a child's journey, right from the mother's womb till the baby, to the toddler, to a primary school, secondary school, and an adolescent, right? And we will be touching various factors of concerned with COVID, non-COVID, problems with growth, obesity, childhood obesity, what's happening with the people who are dependent on growth hormones, problem with inactivity, psychological problems, and then finally education. What is the new normal? So that's going to be our flow. My first question is going to be with Dr. Wazir. Dr. Wazir, there are issues with respect to third trimester babies, people who are pregnant. They're very, very afraid that they can't escape from going to the hospital, whether it's a normal delivery or a cesarean. And hospitals are hotspots these days, right? They have this fear, and then this fear of landing up in an emergency where you can't even test a patient whether this patient is COVID positive or not. So how have things changed? What are the concerns of these third trimester pregnancies, these people landing up in emergencies? How are you treating them? What has been different? And then what is the chance that a mother who is COVID positive can give the transmission or the infection to the child also? So that's my first question to you, Dr. Wazir.
Yeah, thank you, Gaurav. The point where we have changed in the last couple of days or weeks is that we need to one hand protect the mother who potentially could have problems if she has a coexisting COVID. We also need to protect the newborn, and we also need to protect the healthcare workers, because if we are not, we don't have healthcare workers, we will not be able to provide that healthcare in future. So as of now, nobody knows what is the best strategy. But what most hospitals are doing right now is to take adequate precautions for everyone. Now, in this process, that obviously with the cost of PPE being added to the cost of the bills, with attendants being not allowed, in the hospital at the time, the celebrations which used to be with the birth are no longer happening. So there is so much changing, which is very subtle, but they're definitely there. Like for example, only the husband is allowed in the hospital, one attendant staying there for 3 days or 2 days till the time the mother is there, and no other family member can come. 60-year-old plus cannot come. So ये बहुत सारी चीजें अभी change हो गई हैं इस case में. But the best thing which is happening is that most of the hospitals are taking utmost care to make sure the safety of the mother and the newborn is taken care. और उस context में ज़्यादातर लोग क्या कर रहे हैं कि अभी 36-37 वीक्स पे जब वो लास्ट उनका चेकअप होता है, सो उसका दे गेट अ कोविड टेस्ट आप. Now, this is no guarantee that कि आगे जाके उसको कोविड नहीं होगा, बट उसके बाद एडवाइस इज गिवन कि आप आरोग्य सेतु ऐप द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का उसको डाउनलोड कर लीजिएगा एंड मेक श्योर दैट यू डोंट गो फॉर योर रेगुलर वॉक्स इफ एट ऑल यू गोइंग, एंड बाकी जो बाहर से आते हैं उनके साथ आप मिक्स नहीं कीजिए, तो आपको चांसेस है कि आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. And if when you land up in the hospital, then obviously you are treated in the same way as any other COVID negative patient. But अगर आप एक इमरजेंसी में लैंड कर गए, फॉर एग्जांपल थोड़ा प्रीटर्म हो गया या ब्लीडिंग शुरू हो गई और आपने कोविड टेस्ट नहीं करा पाया, तो ज़्यादातर हॉस्पिटल्स ने एक सेपरेट एरिया रखा है जहाँ पे अनटेस्टेड पेशेंट्स, अनडायग्नोज पेशेंट्स को उस एरिया में रखते हैं, नॉट टू मिक्स अप विद द रेगुलर पेशेंट्स, एंड उनका टेस्ट उस टाइम पे भेज दिया जाता है. सारा प्रोसीजर, द डिलीवरी इज डन द सेम वे एज एग्जैक्टली दिस थिंग. The healthcare workers take extra precautions not to infect themselves. And then if the test comes negative, then the patient is shifted to the same ward as the regular patient. And and the area then cleaned up for the next patient. तो आप डिलीवरी, आपके पास एक ही ऑप्शन है कि हॉस्पिटल में किया जा सकता है. घर पे होम डिलीवरी में मेरे साथ क्वेश्चन कहे, some people ask me, can we not do home delivery? Now, home delivery is a thing of past, and today, I mean, at least if you land up in a complication, and reaching a hospital in an emergency is much more difficult. So I would suggest not to dabble with that. The risk of complications for future would be much more. Then the second question you asked is कि mother से बच्चे को हो सकता है. Definitely potential है, but for some reasons अभी कम है, and आगे जाके maybe we'll discuss this कि बच्चों को somehow हमें लगा कि अभी तक जो rate of infection and risk of death both are lesser. And शायद क्योंकि वो vaccination multiple times लेते हैं and their immune system is slightly up, and maybe the distribution of the entry points into the body, which are called receptors, are different in adults and children. And that is the reason why we presume, and a scientific hypothesis ये है कि शायद इस वजह से बच्चों में इतनी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. But having said that, we must also realize कि हमें इस बीमारी के बारे में अभी बहुत कम पता है. ये 2 या 3 महीने की डेटा है जिसके बेसिस पे कोई भी लॉन्ग टर्म इम्प्लीकेशन और फ्यूचर प्रेडिक्शन नहीं की जा सकती. तो बच्चों को सेफ रखना ज़रूरी है. अब जब बच्चा पैदा होता है उस टाइम पे अगर तो मदर कोविड पॉजिटिव है, तो then a certain set of precautions like separating the mother and the baby if the family desires, and अगर बच्चा और मदर साथ रहना चाहते हैं तो कम से कम 2 मीटर की डिस्टेंस, the same social distancing norm for the mother and the baby, and the baby being brought to the mother for breastfeeding purposes, something which again different areas with different guidelines hai. So you should probably follow whatever is the local thing. But obviously yes, potential है, और ना सिर्फ पोटेंशियल मदर से बेबी में है, बट अगर घर में कोई मदर पॉजिटिव है तो उसके आसपास के रिलेटिव्स भी पॉजिटिव होंगे, पॉजिटिव हो सकते हैं, होपफुली नहीं बट हो सकते हैं. एंड वो नहीं भी है, किसी और को है, तो घर में न्यूबॉर्न को है, उस टाइम पे किसी और को भी हो सकता है. दैट्स कॉल्ड अ हॉरिजॉन्टल ट्रांसमिशन, एंड देयर इज अ 15% रिस्क ऑफ हैविंग अ हॉरिजॉन्टल ट्रांसमिशन आल्सो. सो यू शुड प्रॉब्ली, आज ही थैंकफुली एक न्यूज आई है जिसमें 36 डेज पे भी डिस्चार्ज होके गया है फ्रॉम कोविड इन मुंबई. सो ऑब्वियसली देयर आर गुड स्टोरीज एंड नॉट सो dismal things about neonatology in general, but you still need to take precautions.
So in our country, sir, if a mother is co-positive and the baby is not, is breastfeeding allowed?
हमारी कंट्री का जो गाइडलाइंस है कि ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग करना चाहिए, बट बाहर जैसे चाइनीज गवर्नमेंट है, दे सेइंग कि वी शुड नॉट बी डूइंग इट, एंड दैट्स व्हाई डिफरेंट एरियाज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड हैव डिफरेंट गाइडलाइंस. सो इट इज बेटर टू डिस्कस, एंड जैसे मैंने कहा कि हमें को किसी को भी नहीं मालूम कि सही तरीका क्या है, तो सम न्यूट्रल पीपल वुड से डिस्कस विद द पेरेंट्स, explain the risk of, like, what is the risk with the breastfeeding, what is the risk of separation and not giving breastfeeding and long term implication, and जो parents decide करे and doctor decide करे, दोनों के communication के बाद let's do that rather than taking one standard say we should do this.
And are there instances where the baby was positive and the mother was negative?
So as of now, like अगर वो ऐसा कंडीशन होगा तो that is more like a horizontal transmission कि घर में किसी और को है, उसने ट्रांसमिट किया बच्चे को और मदर से नहीं आया. वर्टिकल ट्रांसमिशन जो इमीडिएटली बच्चे मदर से बच्चे को इन वूम है, वो अभी तक शायद बहुत कम है. एंड वो सार्स और एमईआर जो रिलेटेड इलनेसेस थे, उसके टाइम पे भी द वर्टिकल ट्रांसमिशन वाज लार्जली अननोन.
Great, sir. So, sir, I know you from your best NICU, right? I know when I first visited your hospital, I was not that much interested in those flowery spaces and the nice rooms. What I always wanted was to see how good your NICU is, and I think Aapka neonatal ICU is one of the best in the country, right? But
Right.
now with the preterms and all these things, have practices changed for the neonatal ICU? I saw so many kids, बच्चे वो पास थे, and then you used to allow all the mothers also to breastfeed them. So how are you dealing with social distancing in these kids and mothers at that time? What has changed in the neonatal ICU?
So neonatal ICU में the things which have changed is कि unfortunately, as you said, skin to skin care हमने जैसे है, because बाहर से जैसे हमने उस टाइम पे the thing which we had allowed, it's like the mother should come into an ICU all the time, and this is so different from some other hospitals which practice only 2 hours or 1 hour of allowing parents of this thing. So we'll say 24 सुबह 8 से रात के 8-9 बजे तक, जितने बजे जब मर्जी आ जाओ. But given the scenario that is a risk to the other healthcare workers and also the children, we have discontinued the whole practice of kangaroo mother care or skin to skin care as such. So now the second thing which we see कि जो भी बच्चा sick है, या फिर जो बच्चा को हमें लगता है कि कोई ना कोई बच्चा is possibly born to a mother with potential COVID, उसको हम उस केस में एक इंक्यूबेटर में रखते हैं. इंक्यूबेटर में चांसेस ऑफ स्प्रेड आर लेसर. देन ऑब्वियसली हमने एरिया वाइज डिवाइड कर दिया कि मतलब कम से कम 6 से 8 6 फीट का डिस्टेंस बिटवीन टू पीपल. That is not so much that the child would transmit the infection, but the two healthcare workers also coming close together is something which is like, so अगर एक बच्चा पास है, दूसरा बच्चा पास है, तो वो 2 healthcare worker भी पास में आ जाएंगे. So just to maintain the distance, we said okay, one bed खाली, जैसे दिल्ली मेट्रो ने किया, एक सीट खाली एक सीट, तो हमने भी एक सीट खाली कर दी.
Great, sir. And most of the questions are to you because you are the one who handle kids at that, and people had a lot of questions because बच्चा is like very precious.
Right.
So next question people have asked is कि जब इस बच्चे को, so क्या अगर mother positive है, तो do you advise quarantine for both the mother and the baby? If quarantine, then home quarantine or hospital quarantine? And what are the special precautions? Now both mother and baby don't have COVID. What are the special precautions a newborn parents should take for the baby so that the baby is healthy and does not catch corona?
So basically दो सिनेरियोज हैं. एक तो मदर को कोविड पॉजिटिव है. अगर तो कोविड पॉजिटिव है बट मदर इज सिम्टोमेटिक, लाइक सांस फूल रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, तो देन ऑब्वियसली शी हैज टू बी इन द हॉस्पिटल एंड शी विल बी इन एन आईसीयू और हाई डिपेंडेंसी यूरिन, और वहां पे उसका लगा है. हमारा जो क्वेश्चन जो ज्यादातर रेलेवेंट होगा लोगों के लिए कि इफ द मदर इज एसिम्प्टोमेटिक और उसको कोई सिम्टम नहीं है, बच्चे को भी सिम्टम नहीं है बट टेस्ट पॉजिटिव आ गया है, इस सिनेरियो में क्या किया जाए? इस सिनेरियो में बेस्ट सिनेरियो यही है कि मदर को वापस हॉस्पिटल से होम क्वारंटीन किया जाए. एंड अगर मदर या बच्चे में किसी को सिम्टम्स आते हैं, then you come back and then and हर एरिया के अपने गाइडलाइंस हैं, whether they should be sent to a particular hospital or they should be referred to a particular COVID related hospital. So you need to talk to your local CMO about which area of the country you are living in. But mother and baby being symptomatically fine, stay at home. Second question is कि अगर आपको घर में बच्चा है, मदर और दोनों नेगेटिव है, अगर आपको सिर्फ ह्यूमन टू ह्यूमन ट्रांसमिशन का रिस्क है, सो किसी भी आदमी को जिसको जरूरत नहीं है बच्चे के पास होने की should not be there. And there is no need for taking help of the Japa maids and other things, because many people would say, okay, मालिश कौन करेगा? अभी जब हमारे को देखना होता है कि which is a bigger risk, we say, okay, corona is a bigger risk, मालिश is not such a big, it's a tradition. You can also do it, and now that you have all the time in the world, you can also, pitch in with that.
I know, and it's so difficult that आपने already hospital में आने से बैन कर दिया दादा दादी को, अब आपने घर में भी बोल दिया कि साइड पर रहो. I think these babies need to be on virtual Zooms and Skypes for all their relatives to see them, right? That's another way of looking at it, right?
Unfortunately, but as they say, be safe rather than sorry. So
No, I completely agree, and I'll just recap that a baby and a mother who are non-COVID, please avoid as much contact as possible. जितना जो बच्चे से प्यार करते हैं वो बच्चे से दूर रहेंगे. As simple as that, right? Because
correct.
It's good to be safe. So I'll come back to you, Dr. Wazir. I know you have a hard stop at 8. So while we were discussing about the neonatal challenges or a baby's challenges, we have already reached, we have 200 people watching us live on both the platforms, and we have reached to more than 5,000 people already in the first 23 minutes only. So that's a fabulous thing. I think that's the fastest we had. Saurabh, now coming to you. So बच्चे घर पे हैं, play school नहीं है, बाहर नहीं जा सकते हैं, as you quarantine foods बन रहे हैं और सारा foods वही खा रहे हैं, right? And this inactivity is leading to childhood obesity, which is already a problem, right? So what do you see the challenge with, and how do we tackle this challenge?
See, Dr. Tural, ये बड़ा valid point है. It's a very valid challenge because अब school बंद हो गए हैं and the routines are totally out of the window. बच्चे रात को देर तक जाग रहे हैं, सुबह लेट उठ रहे हैं, और उसके बाद फूड रूटीन्स खराब हो गई हैं. जो बच्चे स्केड्यूल्ड एक्सरसाइज के लिए बाहर जाते थे, किसी की डांस क्लास थी, किसी की सॉकर क्लास है, या कोई स्केटिंग जा रहा है, वो सब कुछ बंद हो गया है. प्लस घर पे सारा दिन कुछ ना कुछ बनता जा रहा है. ये क्वारंटीन शेफ मेनिया शुरू हो गया है. सोशल मीडिया में सब जगह डाइट बना के लोग डाल रहे हैं, वो बच्चे ही खा रहे हैं. और जब वो बच्चे वो चीज खा रहे हैं तो ऑब्वियसली एक तो वो हेल्दी फूड्स नहीं खा रहे हैं, ऊपर से दे आर ईटिंग एट एराटिक टाइम्स. सो कपल्ड विद द रिड्यूस्ड फिजिकल एक्टिविटी, इट इज रियली लीडिंग टू एन इंक्रीज इन वेट ऑफ चिल्ड्रन. और यही वेट एक जो सेट ऑफ चेंज हो रहा है बच्चों का, उनकी एपेटाइट चेंज हो रही है, ये आगे जाके ओबेसिटी बनने वाली है. और काफी बच्चों में ये चेंजेस हम देख भी रहे हैं. और प्लस जो स्केड्यूल्ड एक्सरसाइज बंद हो गई है, एक्टिविटी बंद हो गई है, उससे in the long term, it can obviously affect children's general health, it can affect their growth, and it can also, most importantly, affect their habits. We all know, all parents know कि एक अच्छी आदत डालने में बच्चे को इतना टाइम लग जाता है. But one of the major problems this lockdown is giving us कि बच्चों की आदतें खराब हो रही. And that is a very big challenge. And obviously, we have experts on the panel, and they will obviously tell us how to improve the habits of children. इंपॉर्टेंट बात ये है कि जो ये सब चीजें हैं ना, शुरू में ये अननोटिस चली जाती है. शुरू में पेरेंट्स कहते हैं कोई बात नहीं, छुट्टियां हैं, खाने दो, कोई बात नहीं, छुट्टियां हैं, सोने दो. बट स्लोली इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू हैंडल. और बच्चे धीरे धीरे स्कूल ना जाने की वजह से, सोशली बिकॉज दे आर विथड्रॉन, वो ज्यादा जिद्दी हो जाते हैं, दे स्टार्ट गेटिंग एडमेंट, एंड देन दीज थिंग्स गेट फिक्स्ड. दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. और कपल्ड विद दैट, ये जो ई लर्निंग शुरू हो गई है, जो घर बैठ के सारा दिन बच्चे पढ़ते हैं. Although we have a very eminent expert in Mrs. Anju who would be touching upon it. From the medical side of it, important ये है कि एक बच्चा throughout the school hours एक स्क्रीन देख रहा है, या वो लैपटॉप पे है या वो मोबाइल पे है. सो बच्चों का स्क्रीन टाइम बहुत बढ़ गया है. और कुछ शैतान बच्चे सारा दिन घर पे सबको कहते हैं कि होमवर्क कर रहे हैं और वो मोबाइल देखते रहते हैं. एंड दिस इज अ वेरी जेन्युइन प्रॉब्लम. कुछ बच्चे हैं ऐसे, एंड चिल्ड्रन विल ऑलवेज बी चिल्ड्रन. एंड also because they have a screen in their hand, it is very important for us to see what they are watching. And just sticking to the medical side of it, इससे different sets of problems हमारी clinics में, OPDs में आनी शुरू हो गई हैं. Children are starting to get a lot of headaches. बच्चों की neck में pain शुरू हो गई है. बहुत सारे parents को इस शिकायत से आते हैं neck में pain, and when we ask them about screen time, suddenly they realize हाँ सारा दिन मोबाइल ऐसे करके देखता रहता है बच्चा. That is happening. Plus अगर सोने से 1 घंटा पहले बच्चा स्क्रीन देख रहा है तो उसकी स्लीप ऑब्वियसली डिस्टर्ब्ड है. बिकॉज जो भी पेरेंट्स मेरी बात सुन रहे हैं उनको ये बात समझनी चाहिए कि जब बच्चा सोने से पहले कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन या मोबाइल स्क्रीन देखता है तो उसकी लाइट्स जो है वो आंख के पर्दे पे पड़ती है, जिसको हम रेटिना कहते हैं. और बच्चे का ब्रेन ये सोचने में फूल हो जाता है कि अभी दिन का टाइम है, अभी तो रात हुई ही नहीं है. बिकॉज जो लाइट की इंटेंसिटी है उस स्क्रीन से निकल रही है वो बहुत ज्यादा है. एंड उस कारण बच्चों को नींद भी मुश्किल से आती है, बच्चे और लेट सोते हैं. और जहां से हमने बात शुरू की थी, रूटीन खराब हो रही है, इट स्टार्ट्स परपेचुएटिंग द होल साइकिल. एंड parents खुद, because they are working from home, they have erratic working hours, they have erratic eating schedules, it is propagating the whole problem. So what we are seeing is an explosion in weight gain in children, and we are seeing children getting into a sedentary lifestyle, which is bad for their immunity, general health, and also for growth in the long run. So that is the biggest challenge I see.
So Saurabh, tell us the solutions also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. So let's start with the most difficult one. कि बच्चे सारा दिन खाना मांगे जा रहे हैं. So importantly, parents को ये याद रखना है कि make a fixed routine in your house. उसी routine में बच्चों को खाना मिले. जो conventional schedule है 3 major meals and 2 snack meals. Snacks में the food should have low carbohydrate content. Low carbohydrate content का मतलब होता है हम bread, biscuit, रस, भुजिया, मैगी, मैदे से बनी हुई चीजों को avoid करें. That is low carbohydrate food content. In addition to that,
I'm telling you, तुम मैगी बंद करा रहे हो, तुम बिस्किट बंद करा रहे हो, तुम चिप्स बंद करा रहे हो.
बच्चे काफी बार मेरे से नाराज हो जाते हैं मेरी ओपीडी में, पर ये बात करनी बहुत जरूरी है पेरेंट्स के लिए. दूसरी बात, क्योंकि पेरेंट्स को सारा दिन बच्चे नजर आ रहे हैं, सारा दिन दिख रहे हैं, इतना टाइम हमने कभी भी अपने बच्चों के साथ स्पेंड नहीं किया, तो हमें सारा दिन उन पे प्यार आता है. और काफी फैमिलीज में प्यार दिखाने का सबसे अच्छा तरीका है या तो दादी माँ कुछ बना देती है बढ़िया सा, या मम्मी कुछ बना देती है, या पापा को अलमारी से निकाल के चिप्स का पैकेट दे देते हैं, चॉकलेट दे देते हैं, जो किसी को गिफ्ट देने के लिए कोई सामान रखा था वो भी बच्चे खाए जा रहे हैं. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो टू बी अवॉइडेड. एंड प्लीज रिमेंबर, एक बच्चे की एपेटाइट को बेटर मैनेज करने के लिए फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज बहुत जरूरी है. सो हाफ एन आवर इन द मॉर्निंग एंड इवनिंग बच्चे फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज जरूर करें. इन एडिशन टू दैट 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. 5 servings सिंपल लैंग्वेज में 5 कटोरी फ्रूट या सब्जी टोटल पूरे दिन में बच्चे को देना जरूरी है, क्योंकि उससे जो फाइबर कंटेंट आएगा उससे बच्चे को बार बार भूख नहीं लगेगी. जब आप हाई कार्बोहाइड्रेट वाली चीजें देते हो जैसे बिस्किट, ब्रेड और वो सब कुछ, उससे बच्चे को एकदम दोबारा भूख लग जाती है, प्लस बच्चा फ्री है, प्लस उसको मम्मी नजर आ रही है, तो बच्चा खाना मांगेगा ही मांगेगा और आप उसे मना नहीं कर सकते. So that's one thing. स्क्रीन टाइम, देखो ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन चल रही है, बहुत ही ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन है. आई होप बाय द लेटर स्टेजेस ऑफ दिस वेबिनार वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस सम सॉल्यूशंस एंड वी हैव एजुकेशनिस्ट्स एंड चाइल्ड साइकियाट्रिस्ट इन आवर पैनल टुडे. इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि एक बार जब एजुकेशन खत्म, पेरेंट्स शुड वॉच व्हाट देयर चिल्ड्रन आर वाचिंग. दे शुड ट्राई टू लिमिट स्क्रीन टाइम आउटसाइड दोस स्कूल आवर्स एंड देयर आर सेट गाइडलाइंस कि एक बच्चे को कितना मोबाइल देखना चाहिए. वो गाइडलाइंस वैसे ही एक्सीड हो रही हैं ये ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन के चक्कर. So, एक बार जब स्कूल खत्म हो गया, होमवर्क खत्म हो गया, बच्चे को फोन देना बिल्कुल इट्स नॉट राइट. एंड स्क्रीन टाइम रोकने के लिए पेरेंट्स शुड बी रोल मॉडल्स. बार बार खुद टीवी ना लगाना शुरू कर दें, सारा दिन न्यूज देख रहे हैं, न्यूज डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, वही सब बातें बार बार कर रहे हैं, दैट शुड गो आउट ऑफ द विंडो. अगर आप कर सकते हो, इट्स अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल सजेशन, वी हैव अप्लाइड इट, वी हैव सीन द रिजल्ट इन मेनी चिल्ड्रन. अपने बेडरूम से टीवी निकाल दो, बच्चों के बेडरूम से टीवी निकाल दो, कंप्यूटर निकाल दो. एटलीस्ट ड्यूरिंग दिस क्वारंटीन टाइम्स, ड्यूरिंग दिस लॉकडाउन टाइम, ये बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट स्टॉप द चाइल्ड ऑल डे फ्रॉम वॉचिंग. कुक एट होम एज मच एज पॉसिबल. एक पॉजिटिव चीज भी हुई जब लॉकडाउन हो गया, ये जोमेटो स्विगी बंद हो गए. अब मेरे ओपीडी में इतने सारे बच्चे आते हैं विद ओबेसिटी, और जब हम बिकॉज ओपीडी में आ नहीं पा रहे थे तो हम उनसे ऑनलाइन टेलीमेडिसिन से कंसल्ट कर रहे थे. एवरी मंथ वी वर कंटिन्यूइंग द शेड्यूल, और सरप्राइजिंगली बड़े अच्छे रिजल्ट हमें नजर आने शुरू हो गए, बिकॉज बाहर का खाना बंद हो गया, उन बच्चों का वेट मैनेज होना शुरू हो गया था. लेकिन धीरे धीरे अब ये सब कुछ खुल गया है और प्लस बच्चे घर पे हैं, सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. And obviously, getting a home delivery comes with all sorts of challenges in these COVID times. We should be very mindful about it. Cook at home, sit together to eat. Parents are working from home. Dad is having food at a different time. Mom is having food at a different time. Child is having food with YouTube at a different time. Try to avoid that. अगर सब इकट्ठे खाना खाएंगे तो we'll be mindful of what we are doing. And TV देखते हुए बच्चों को खाना ना खाने दें. These are very small things. बट ये छोटी छोटी चीजें जब जुड़ जाती हैं तब बच्चे बहुत मोटे हो जाते हैं और बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स आनी शुरू हो जाती है. वी कीप ऑन मेकिंग पेरेंट्स अवेयर ऑफ इट, बट ये छोटी छोटी चीजें जोड़ के हम ये जो चैलेंजिंग टाइम है इसको कवर कर सकते हैं.
ग्रेट सौरभ, आई थिंक द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टिप्स ऑन चाइल्डहुड ओबेसिटी, खाना क्या खाना है एंड कितना स्क्रीन टाइम करना है. आई एम टेलिंग यू, पेरेंट्स आर गोइंग टू लव यू बट चिल्ड्रन आर ऑलरेडी हेटिंग यू. तुमने उनका फोन बंद करा दिया, तुमने उनके केक्स बंद करा दिए, राइट? या ऐड ऑन, टेल मी.
एंड आई हैव एन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा स्मार्ट होते हैं. अब कहते हैं मम्मी हम तो खेल ही नहीं सकते, बाहर जाना तो मना है, तो हमें तो बैठ के टीवी देखना है. See, there are so many activities जो घर पे हो सकती हैं. Parents should be well aware of it. Simple stairs हैं सबके घर में. 10 times during the day, 3 rounds बच्चे को लगाओ ऊपर नीचे. That is an exercise. Skipping can be done. Children can play at home and they can help their parents do their household chores, involve them in the activities. There are so many things. अगर आप सोचो कि बच्चे को फालतू में बैठ के टीवी नहीं देखने देना तो there are enough solutions. पर उसके लिए जरूरी ये भी है कि हम भी ना बैठ के टीवी देखें.
Correct. एक और चीज जो I have used with my nephews is that I tell them to help their mom into the household chores, right? So table तुम लगाओ, कपड़े तुम सुखाओ. So I think those things also, one, they occupy children and then give them physical activity also.
It's a good time to go back to your roots. So you should use those things.
So thank you, Saurabh. I'll go back to Dr. Wazir again. We'll keep Dr. Bala and Dr. Anju for the later half because Dr. Wazir has to leave. Dr. Wazir, a lot of questions on vaccination. So questions are, हम हॉस्पिटल नहीं जा पा रहे, क्या हम वैक्सीनेशन को मिस कर सकते हैं? अगर मिस हो गया है तो कितने दिन तक मिस कर सकते हैं? क्या जब सब लोग इम्यूनिटी की बात कर रहे हैं तो इस समय ऐसा तो नहीं कि वैक्सीनेशन कराने से मुझे कोविड हो जाएगा? And how safe is home vaccination? Because many people are now trying home vaccinations also. So that's where I want your expert views on vaccination, sir.
So ये आयरनी ये है कि हम जैसे जब एक मास मेंटालिटी में जाते हैं, एक चीज के बारे में सोचते हैं, दूसरे के बारे में सोचना बंद कर देते हैं. तो जो इबोला वायरस हुआ था जब व्हेन अफ्रीका में, तो more people died of HIV, malnutrition, malaria and measles than Ebola. So अभी भी WHO का जो स्टेटमेंट आया है, 117 million children are at risk of missing their measles. और जब ये कोविड खत्म होगा उस टाइम पे सडनली हमारे बच्चे जो है बिल्कुल अनइम्यूनाइज्ड रहेंगे और एक भी बीमारी आ जाएगी वो बच्चों में इतनी ज्यादा फैलेगी. थैंकफुली अभी कोविड नहीं फैल रहा बिकॉज ऑफ some scientific reason, but अगर बच्चे अनइम्यूनाइज्ड रहेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली ये चीज जो है हमारे रिस्क बढ़ जाएगा. सो वी शुड नॉट डिले वैक्सीनेशन. नाउ इसमें से कुछ प्रायोरिटी वैक्सीनेशन है, कुछ प्रायोरिटी नहीं है, बट कोई भी वैक्सीनेशन मिस करना कोई सेंसिबल चीज नहीं है बिकॉज यू आर अलाउइंग योरसेल्फ टू बी प्रोन टू दैट डिजीज इन केस यू डू नॉट वैक्सीनेट. अब जो पहले 6 महीने के बच्चे जो होते हैं जिनमें डीपीटी, जिनमें एक भी बीमारी नहीं है, आपको काली खांसी हुई, वूपिंग कफ हुआ, यू हैव अ डिप्थीरिया, these are high mortality diseases, so you cannot अभी कोविड का तो कोई चांसेस बहुत कम है बट इन बीमारियों के चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा है. सो फर्स्ट 6 months की जो वैक्सीनेशन है जैसे 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 14 weeks वाली, वो तो कभी भी मिस करना नहीं चाहिए. हाँ, आप स्केड्यूल ऐसे सेट कर सकते हो कि रादर देन कि आप रश आवर में जाओ तो ज्यादातर डॉक्टर्स ने भी अभी कर रखा है कि जो दिन का पहला हिस्सा है वो वैक्सीनेशन के लिए रखा है और जो सिकर पेशेंट्स को दूसरे हफ्ते में दूसरे पार्ट ऑफ द डे में देखते हैं, सो दैट द वैक्सीनेशन, द वेल चिल्ड्रन आर नॉट मिक्सिंग विद द सिक चिल्ड्रन. Second, some people would do is have a separate room, जहाँ पे स्पेस है, चाहे वो क्लिनिक में है या हॉस्पिटल में है, तो वो एक सेपरेट रूम है. इन्फ्लुएंजा लाइक इलनेस जो है ILI, वो एक पर्टिकुलर रूम में देखा जाएगा जहाँ पे प्रिकॉशंस अलग हैं, जहाँ पे आपका पीपी अलग है. और जैसे ही वो डॉक्टर वापस आके दूसरे जो रूटीन वर्क में जाता है जहाँ पे बच्चे सिक नहीं है बट ग्रोथ के लिए आए, वैक्सीनेशन के लिए आए, तो दोनों को मिक्स नहीं किया जाएगा. Then the third thing what you could do is you could use telecommunication. So आजकल क्या है कि आपको कंसल्ट करना है डॉक्टर से, वैक्सीन लगाना है. So वैक्सीन के लिए पहले दिन आपने कंसल्ट कर लिया ऑन, अभी जैसे हम आपसे और सबसे कनेक्टेड है on digital, this is the way you can actually address most of your questions, queries and concerns. And when you come to the clinic, that time you already have you tell the doctor's reception कि ये वैक्सीन लगना है, कल हमारी डॉक्टर से कंसल्टेशन हुई, ये हुआ, सारा कुछ रेडी है. आप आए डॉक्टर से 1 मिनट में वैक्सीन हुआ और अगले मिनट में आप वैक्सीन निकल गए, आपका प्रिस्क्रिप्शन भी कल निकल गया था, सब कुछ निकल गया. सो यू डोंट हैव टू मिक्स. सो उससे डॉक्टर के क्लिनिक पे भी इतना टाइम बच जाता है कि 1-2 लोगों के पीछे अगर 10 मिनट की भी आपकी इंटरवल है बिटवीन 2 पेशेंट्स, तो एक को आपने 2-3 मिनट में देख लिया और 8 मिनट की कंसल्टेशन कल आपने ऑनलाइन कर ली थी. तो time between the patients is also something which you could scientifically use to how to make a clinic more patient friendly, and the patients should also can take care. Similarly 9 months की जो वैक्सीन है मीजल्स की, वो भी मिस नहीं करनी चाहिए. जो वैक्सीन आप मिस कर सकते हो थोड़ा बहुत, वो है जो लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल बूस्टर वैक्सीन है जो 4 साल की होनी थी. लाइक 4 साल में डीपीटी का वैक्सीन है, वो 4 की जगह अब 4.5 में हो जाएगा, बिकॉज यू स्टिल हैव अ रीजनेबल प्रोटेक्शन एंड यू कैन डिले इट फॉर सम डेज. बट फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप वैक्सीन जैसे है जिस एरिया में जापानीज एन्सेफेलाइटिस ज्यादा कॉमन है, लाइक वहां पे आप वैक्सीन नहीं लगाएंगे तो ये मच्छर आएंगे, तो आपको your risk of having a Japanese encephalitis like illness is more, measles is more. So certain vaccines you can discuss with the doctor can be postponed for some time, but it cannot be abandoned completely. और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हमें ये नहीं पता कि कोविड कब तक रहना है, तो करना तो है ही, तो उस लाइक प्रिकॉशन लेके करना है. आप होम वैक्सीनेशन जो आपने पूछा, आवर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज आल्सो स्टार्टेड, बट अभी तक हम सिर्फ अपने बच्चों के लिए कर रहे हैं जो हमने देखे हुए हैं, बिकॉज वी ऑल्सो नीड टू हैव ए आइडिया कि उनका फिजिकल हेल्थ और सब कुछ एक बार कम से कम डॉक्टर ने देखा हो, तो इट मेक्स सेंस फॉर देम टू ऑफर. एंड प्राइवेट में हॉस्पिटल्स में डॉक्टर्स लगाते हैं, but if you see government hospitals or government health machinery, whether it is like the ASHA workers and the nurses which are trained to do this stuff, injection हर hospital में sister ही लगाती है. सिर्फ vaccination जो एक है बच्चों के साथ थोड़ा सा, so if you have an expert sister coming in, it's not a problem, go ahead and do it. And as an organization I can tell you we have done more than 2,000 vaccinations till now across the country without any problem. Like apprehensions हैं बहुत सारे लोगों को, डॉक्टर्स को, पेशेंट्स को, और जो सोसाइटी को, बट आई एम श्योर लाइक somebody has to take a lead and this is something which can be done. इंश्योर ये होता है कि पेशेंट को हॉस्पिटल आने की जरूरत नहीं है, सो लाइक बट वी कैन मेक श्योर कि हॉस्पिटल का जो स्टाफ है वो जाके आपको घर पे लगा देगा, मगर घर के अंदर नहीं जाएगा, आपको एम्बुलेंस में आना, बिकॉज सोसाइटी के अंदर जाना इज नॉट समथिंग व्हिच इज राइट.
Thank you, sir. What about vaccines from 1 year of age till 4 years? Because you talked about measles and then you talked about booster. What about the vaccines between these 2-3 years?
So generally उसमें जैसे एक हेपेटाइटिस ए का वैक्सीन है which is needs to be given thereafter. So हेपेटाइटिस ए का वैक्सीन वो वाटरबॉर्न डिजीज है. So अगर जब तक आप घर में आपने पूरा वाटर का प्रिकॉशन लेकर आए, फूड आप रॉ नहीं खा रहे हैं, बाहर से होम फूड डिलीवरी स्पेशली फॉर द रॉ थिंग्स इज नॉट कमिंग इन, so you could possibly, if that is the only vaccine that you are pending, you could possibly delay that. But जो MMR और चिकन पॉक्स है, the data suggests कि अगर आप MMR और चिकन पॉक्स instead of 15 to 16 months के जगह आप 23 से 24 मंथ के बाद करोगे, the risk of febrile seizures कि जो बुखार के साथ कभी बार convulsions आ जाते हैं, almost doubles at this time. So you should not delay it for the simple reason कि you have a COVID and you want to delay. So logistics work करना है. Essentially what I am trying to put across is that 1 or 2 vaccines barring that, सारे vaccines आपको schedule करना ऐसा चाहिए कि डॉक्टर से बात करके minimum time में the clinic, but get them done.
Great, sir. Thank you. That was one of the most commonly asked questions.
I know.
Yeah. So now let me go to Dr. Bala. Dr. Bala, so the questions which we have is that what are the psychological issues which children are facing? As I told you, I feel we are intruding into their space. That's one of my very great friends said, right? And there is a mixing of office, school, home, right? But the children are facing a lot of stress. And then I'm obvious there are positive things are also happening. But could you tell us about what are the major things which you are seeing maybe in your OPD amongst toddlers who really want to go out, right? Amongst maybe the school givers, primary and secondary, and then definitely the adolescents, right? Over to you. You're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Now, is it audible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's good. Okay. The first thing, if you ask me what's my experience during this COVID, I think mostly the kids from 3-year-old to adult, even adult, they're all worried about this COVID phobia. You know what is phobia? It's a kind of the fear about something. So everybody worries about, am I going to get like this COVID infection, or am I going to get quarantine? So this is the main worries. Then even some kids know they tend to wash their hands frequently because they're not allowing the parents to touch anything. Then they say that, oh, if you don't wash your hands, if you touch it, you will get that COVID. So this is the perception of what they get it from outside. So these kind of the anxiety related issues, the main thing I'm getting. The second thing is the parents are struggling to manage the kids at home, mainly the behavioral issues and the anger issues. Um, so how do we manage them? That's the main thing. The first thing, even this is, as you said, it is difficult for the parents to handle as well, because some of the parents, the other issue is most of them are working from home, like by using the computer. So usually the kids, even the grand elderly people, they get frustrated because there are too many people are at home. Even the elderly people are also seeking their help. So it is causing difficulty for everyone. Especially the parents, they have to look after the, especially for the moms, even though dads are nowadays helping, they have to do more work at home, they don't have any help, then they have to look after the family, then they have to go through their work pattern as well. So they, most of them are under stress. But when compared to parents and adults, I feel the kids are enjoying this long break, even though some of them are seeking help, but mostly I'm saying they're enjoying it. Then what can we take it before we talk about this? How can we tackle this, all this negative feeling? We need to understand the positive side of this COVID lockdown. Like, I know most of us would have felt that I need just 2 days break. I don't want to do anything. Just I want to spend time with my family. Because most of the parents, when they bring their children to me, they will say that if, like for the behavioral problem, if I advise them you need to spend time, then they say, doctor, I'm coming home a bit late, I don't have time to spend with them. So this is the problem. So now even as a parent or as an employee for other things, just take it as a, it's a kind of the break. So this is the time we are spending with family members. So we are spending more time with our kids, so that is positive. The second thing is, like the sleep, I know the kids, especially the kids know, they are packed with heavy schedule, school, tuition, extracurricular activities and exams and all this thing. Now they are more relaxed, they're not following any pattern, so they are relaxed. Even though they're moving to the gadgets, that's a different story, we'll come back to that later. Then the third one is, then they're sleeping well, like even though the sleep timing has changed, I'll cover it later, but mostly the kids are now sleeping for longer time, like 8 to 10 hours time. So that's good, because when we sleep well, it increases the immunity. Immunity is not only given by only having healthy food or vitamins, you need to have stress free life, you need to be relaxed. So kids are having that time, that's good. The other thing is, other complaint is, I think Dr. Sarup touched about this obesity because of the junk food. Now most of the family, I think almost everyone is eating homemade food only. So obviously we could avoid takeaways and all, we are going back to the olden lifestyle, so that is good. Then most thing is, we all know that the pollution has reduced, so we all have to think about some positive effect. Then we need to live along with the nature. Those are all the positive things. Then when we come back to negative, as I said, even the parents, they're stressed because of the workload. Even the kids, they are stressed because mainly they're going to get this anxiety, the like COVID infection. Like for the younger kids, I think until 2-year-old, they are okay. Once they start speak sentence only, they will ask that question. So as long as if you play with them under 2, they are fine. If they are engaged, they are fine. But when they start talking, even the 2.5-year-old, they know everything. They may ask, Mama, what is COVID? Why can't I go and play? For under 5, from 2 to 5, but they speak well, some of the kids, then they can't understand what is COVID. Then they'll get frustrated. Why can't I go out and play? If you say that you can't go out of the door, then they will start crying. Then they will show all the tantrum. That is the main thing. How do we deal with this? If the child starts speaking sentences, we can easily explain to them, even for the primary school kids, we can easily teach them by telling like a story. I think previously the other doctor has mentioned it, making a story based on their age. So you limit the information which is needed based on their age. Don't give too much information for the school kids. Just give only positive information through the story. For example, 4-year-old, if they ask, you just create a story like a similar family of us. Okay, there is one family in the neighborhood, like mommy and daddy, the name is Vinay or something, he's 4-year-old. The other neighbor got some infection and fever. Then the doctors found to that it can spread to other people by touching those things. For this reason, to prevent it, the other doctor advised the child to keep it at home, but it is not for longer period, only for the safer period. So that because the thing is, we have only one doctor for 10 people, because the children can't understand why can't we go out. We can tell them we have only less doctors. If we go one by one to the doctor's clinic, the doctor will look after. But if we all 10 people go, if we all getting ill, if we go together, they can't look after. So just to give the time, we are staying at home, we are preventing it. So similar to this, we can make a story and tell them, they'll be able to understand. Then for a little bit elderly kids, like around 9-year-old to 10-year-old, they may tend to worry about the death and the sickness and all these things. So ideally, I would suggest that don't make a conversation about this, all the negative and the complication in front of the children, even up to their college level, until they become so, because everywhere at home, the TV is running, the social media, everywhere we are getting that update. So try to keep the children away from that information. You should be mindful when you're talking about this negative things. So you can only talk about these things once they go to bed, when they are not there. So you should be careful. Even when they ask, you just focus on only positive. Just say that, see, nearly 98% of them, or nearly, they're getting better. Even 50% of them, they're just simply staying at home, they're getting better. So mostly we do get better if we follow that safety method. This is the reason we are asking you to stay inside just for a few weeks. Then once, if everyone follows the rule, we are going to go out soon. So these kind of things we can explain to them. Then mainly for the elder kids, no, they do suffer from some kind of anxiety, especially the +1, +2 or 10th standard students. They tend to get worried about, oh, what I'm going to have my mark, which group I'm going to take it, which competitive exam like NEET or whatever, the JEE or whatever they're going to take it, they tend to worry about it. Even for some of the board exam, I think it's keep on postponing. So it may be frustrating experience for them. Initially they said it's June, now it's going beyond that. So the first thing the parents need to, how to handle this, parents need to understand this is not only happened to your children, it has happened to every children all over the world. So it is a pandemic, so everyone is in the same boat. Maybe some children are having some online access, some of them not having, we have to agree that. But at the same time, we have to understand there are other people are in the same boat as well. So we don't have to worry about it. If the performance is going to be reduced because we can't attend those classes, that's fine. It happens to everyone. So we need to reassure them it is okay to have the same kind of situation everywhere. Then you try your best. So the first, the parents have to understand. Then when they don't know the exam date, I would advise the parents to tell the child to take a break in between, like not they have to study for 12 hours, 14 hours, because we don't know the exam date. Then they're already frustrated because they thought it's in May, they thought it's in April, but finally postponed until June. Still, we don't know when it is going to. So at least the parents can give some space. Okay, you can't prepare for 3-4 hours a day, for example, if they're preparing for competitive exam. But the remaining half day, let them play with their hobbies, let them talk to their friends over the phone or something. So don't follow the rigid rule until you know the date, then so that the stress can be reduced. The other thing is the sleep. You need to follow the sleep very well, because it's okay to study without the sleep for a few days. Your body can withstand it. But if it is going on for a month, 2 months, 3 months, obviously they'll be tired. So make sure they will sleep, even for the high school kids, minimum 8 hours. So that is the time they're taking rest. Even to reduce the screen time, we have to keep up this school timing. Then this is what we need to inform it. Even if you get low marks, that's fine. Try your best. Don't worry about the others. So first, the parents should understand. Then we should reassure the child. Then other important thing is the behavioral difficulties, like showing tantrum, attention seeking, or sibling rivalry. Like when they are at home, the brothers and sisters, they will start fight and all these things. So these this is another most common complaints. So what do we do for this? For any behaviors, there should be some triggering factors. So the parents should understand what is the triggering factor. Is it the behavior is new or the old one? Then what is the purpose of it? When the child just lying down on the floor, if they roll down something, if they're screaming it, that means the child wants something, isn't it? We know that. So we should ignore it. But at the same time, sometimes if the child complains about that, my sister has taken it, my sister is not giving an opportunity to watch TV, then we need to address it, isn't it? So in these similar complaints, we could tell them, okay, this is your TV time. Like if they get the TV time for 2 hours, okay, the first 1 hour you take it, the second 1 hour you take it. If other person is happy to watch the same thing, you can watch it. So this is how we need to sort it out. The other important thing is, I think already Dr. Sarup mentioned it, to manage the children at home, even the other parents or other partners, everyone to be managed at home. Just follow the routine. That is really, really important. When the children go to school, it's easy for parents to manage, because the reason is it is not by teachers are taking care. Yes, teachers are taking care of them, but they follow the routine. Prayers, morning starting time, the regular schedule of different subjects, then PE lessons and coming back. So they follow the routine. That's why they are adjusted to that. So once everyone knows their routine, they don't do the tantrum, they don't try to change it. So at home during this lockdown period, the following the routine is really, really important. Just I'm giving you some small example. Like for example, I don't want to create any rigid timetable. If I ask them to wake up at 5 o'clock, I'm sure practically no one is going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. We can have some flexibility. Like for example, at least make sure the children should sleep 10 or 11, they should sleep up to 7 or something. Maximum more than 8, I think it is not advisable, because most of the online classes are starting at 9. At least try to follow the same time. But instead of 5 or 6, you can go up to 7 or 8. Okay, so there should be some flexibility in the time, but make sure the whole family sleeps at the right time. If you ask the child to go to sleep at 10 o'clock, but if you're watching the TV, the child will cry. So that's not a better thing. So even that is not good for you. You have to work hard as well. So just everyone should follow the same time. So it will be like spending quality time with the children as well. And as well as it helps them to have good sleep and regular routine. Then when they wake up at 7 o'clock, they'll finish that morning routine and all. Then if they have online classes in the school, let them finish it. Or otherwise, you can give some kind of work, like how to improve the handwriting, how to improve basic maths and basic language reading skill, because many kids are struggling to do this basic reading and writing stuff. So you can give some even simple reading storybooks. It can improve their vocabulary. These things you can give it. Then other thing is you have to involve them in household works, because some kids, the toddler, if they are not eating food by themselves, this is the time to teach them. They have to eat it. So just you have to eat like a family. You need to give a time for them to eat. So you can do this. Regarding the household work, based on their age, you could give that work. Even for 4-year-old or 5-year-old, you can say that go and get that vegetable to mama, go and open the fridge, or just go and get that vessel to me. These things you can teach them. Then go and tidy up your play stuff. So these small things, keep the pillow in the right side, something like the small things you have to tell them. Then you have to praise them. Oh, you did well, you helped me, mama, very good, I'm really proud of you. So if you say all these things, they will be coming and asking you, mama, what can I do? So you have to praise them as well. Then if they are 6-year-old or 8-year-old, you can ask them to dry your clothes or cleaning their plates, or just organizing their books. Or if the teenagers, they can do cutting vegetables, cleaning the floor, or the drying the clothes. They can do based
Dr.
on
Bala,
that.
I'll have to hold you here because the last few minutes for Dr. Wazir before we'll come back to you. So Dr. Wazir, you wanted to add something to what Dr. Bala was saying. Please do that. And one question has come up for you. लोग ये कह रहे हैं कि आपने बोला कि बच्चों में इन्फेक्शन रेट और फर्टिलिटी रेट बहुत कम है, तो फिर बच्चे बाहर क्यों नहीं जा सकते?
क्योंकि जैसे मैंने आपको बोला कि इस बीमारी के बारे में हमें बहुत सारा नहीं पता है, तो अभी हम लगे सेफ्टी इज द बेस्ट वे फॉर अस टू गो फॉरवर्ड राइट नाउ. सेकेंड जो है, ऐसा इट इज नॉट कि फर्टिलिटी रेट कम है तो हम ये चांस लेना चाहते हैं. अपने बच्चे के साथ हम एक भी फर्टिलिटी नहीं चाहिए हमें, लाइक यू नो. सो इवन इफ आई से कि द फर्टिलिटी रेट इन चिल्ड्रन इज 1%, I don't want my child to be that 1 out of 100. So I would still suggest, like, you know, till we know more of the disease in next year, till we like have a complete vaccine, if at all is available, please do not take chances and stay there wherever you are and take all the precautions what the government or the experts are saying. Ye chance lena sensible nahi hai. And again, as I said, like, I just wanted to make one point there. It's like कि ये टाइम हम बच्चों के साथ ना उनको लाइफ स्किल, हमें ये चीज़ अभी समझ आ गई कि नौकरी इम्पोर्टेंट है, नॉलेज इम्पोर्टेंट है, सब कुछ है, मगर घर में खाना बनाना, झाड़ू लगाना, ये सब भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, और ये लाइफ स्किल जो है हमें ये सीखना भी इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है. सो इस टाइम पे यूज दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी टू टीच योर चिल्ड्रंस लाइफ स्किल्स रादर देन लाइक ऑफ कोर्स लीव द
हेलो संजय, गुड इवनिंग.
follow the education to the rest of them, then but this is something which you can definitely do.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. That was really helpful. I know you have to leave in another minute or so. So we'll still hang on with the other panelists because we now have to go to Anjuval and take another very crucial aspect of children. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
So I'll come back to Dr. Bala. Saurabh, you want to add something? Okay.
जो वो बड़ा इंटेलिजेंट क्वेश्चन किसी ने पूछा कि बच्चे बाहर क्यों नहीं जा सकते, और डॉक्टर वजीर ने बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से एक जो वैलिड रीजन है वो दिया. उसका एक रीजन और भी है, बच्चे सोसाइटी का सबसे मोबाइल पार्ट होते हैं. तो अगर एक बच्चे को इन्फेक्शन हो जाए, उस बच्चे को ज्यादा रिस्क नहीं है, पर वो बच्चा अपने पेरेंट्स से मिलता है, अपने ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स से मिलता है, तो वो उन सबको डिजीज ट्रांसमिट कर सकता है. और दूसरी बात, और सोसाइटी बच्चे सब इकट्ठे खेलते हैं खासकर सोसाइटीज में, तो अगर एक बच्चा इन्फेक्शन का कैरियर है, ऑल्दो उस बच्चे को इमीडिएटली कोई रिस्क नहीं है, पर उस बच्चे से सब खेलने वाले बच्चों को हो जाएगा और उनसे सबके घरों में चला जाएगा, और सबके घर में दादा दादी हैं जिनको सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क है.
So kids are going to hate you today, I'm telling you. Okay, so before again I go to Dr. Bala, now let's come to our Madam Principal. So Madam Principal, people are saying कि क्या जरूरत थी इस ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन की, क्यों कर रहे हो इस ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन को? बच्चा जो प्ले स्कूल जाना चाहिए था, अब वो प्ले स्कूल तो नहीं जा रहा, बट व्हाई दिस बच्चा इज सिटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ द स्क्रीन? वी अंडरस्टैंड कि आप बड़े बच्चों का सिलेबस पूरा करना है, so they need to study and they can study. How things have changed for teachers, for educationists? I know it won't have been easy for you and your teachers to design modules, to go online. It's like changing overnight. So what all is happening and how did it happen? Yeah.
Thank you very much. And it's been wonderful listening to the medical perspective and also listening to Dr. Bala, the psychological perspective. I'll make an attempt to give you the other side of the story. As you have asked that what was the need to go online? Wonderful question. When this hit us, and I use the word hit very, very consciously, it caught everyone unprepared. That said, I think schools were the first to close across the world, except maybe one or two European countries, and you can say this side, Southeast Asia, Singapore didn't close school for long, Sweden didn't close schools at all, or perhaps even Denmark didn't close schools. But broadly speaking, schools, understanding that, as you said, Dr. Saurabh, that children being most vulnerable and also multiple reasons why they're the most fragile, and schools should be closed and children should be home. I think 16th, 17th March, or even before the lockdown was officially announced. Now, what do? And not, when I say we, I speak as a community of educators, and certainly I will share certain experiences of Shiv Nadar School which have worked for us, and perhaps it will help people who are listening. We decided and we felt that buildings are shut, and it appeared to be a long haul. Even as early as mid-March, this appeared to be a long stretch. There didn't seem to be any solution in sight. So there may be light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel looked like very long. It continues to look like a continuum, a very long tunnel. So should learning stop simply because the buildings were shut? And we all entered, let me say, the Corona boot camp and overhauled our pedagogy, our delivery, our curriculum, looking at it from a very new perspective. And it's not about whether you are on this video conferencing portal or that video conferencing portal. what has been the objective to go online. The objective to go online, and I will speak pan the school from nursery, which is a 3.5-year-old. In our school, it's 3.5-year-old, right up to a 17-year-old, is to make that connect with children. And that is paramount, to make that connect with children, to push love and care more than to push lessons. The children are completely, as you all have said, as we all know, at home, parents and grandparents and other members of the family being the only emotional anchors. But school has played a huge role in being an emotional anchor for children. And many a time, it has played a larger role in being that emotional, let me say, the rudder for the children. So to make sure that children did not feel lost and were at sea suddenly. The online classes have been very, very consciously and differently designed, perhaps just 40 minutes or 45 minutes for very young children, early years and primary children, to have conversations, informal and formal, which is, as we call in the education world, circle time, and I'm sure you're aware of this. And to find that synergy to blend or to marry curriculum with pedagogy, which is approaches of learning, to technology. Teachers have always worked with technology. They have not worked through technology. That has been a sea change. It's not that technology they've been unfamiliar with technology. Yes, in the first week, 8-10 days, we ourselves were at a burnout. We were working the longest hours possible. There wasn't a closure time. Even parents were contacting us right up to 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And we realized in early days that what will be the backbone out here and be not just the IT cell, but our counseling cell, our pastoral committees. And we expanded those and brought in something called the guiding team, which is every home teacher. And in our school especially, we have believed that every teacher a counselor. So there were overnight trainings to give strategies and tools to every home teacher so that she felt empowered to deal with this unnatural space of teaching and learning. You know, parents have always come for parent-teacher meetings and found out what happens, what their child has done. This is the first time in the history of education that parents have had a view of a teacher as a practitioner, because they are there with the child. With doctors, a family comes to find out what is wrong with one member, and they see you in action and they hear you, and your word is gospel. While that relationship with the teacher has always been a different one, I would just like to say that. And here is the first time they hear the teacher's vocabulary. They hear how patient the teacher is. They hear how the teacher waits for every single child, gives a chance, not gives a chance. So there has been a huge outpouring of appreciation of how this teacher, who also has to cook, whose pressure cooker is also blowing a whistle, who also has in-laws, is shutting herself from her little kids and husbands and everything else, and prioritizing this. And coming to fitness, I would like to also add here that COVID-19 has brought into sharp focus one or two very, very strong things. A, schools will never go out of fashion. Everybody is missing them. Coursera came 10 years ago with online modules and, update, upskill, reskill yourselves, take up a course. And there was that fear and conversation always happening that by 2025, 2030, online teaching would be the norm, could be the norm, and schools needn't really be brick and mortar buildings. I think that notion has been removed from everybody's mind forever. So human touch, which was taken for granted, is now got a place of eminence. It was part and parcel of a school, the human touch. The relationship with the teacher, which was also taken as, a given, has also got a place of eminence. And mental health of children, there's a spotlight on mental and physical health, building immunities, etc., with good food and sleep cycles. These 3-4 things will remain the spotlight for the longest time, as I visualize it as in my own experience. So there are positives where we have parents as partners in cooperating with us. I would even say in co-teaching with us. And we have done several orientation for our parents where they have had multiple questions. We have shared with them what really this class assignment or this pre-work means. What has worked is if you give children some pre-work, they've done some pre-reading, because it's very hard when children are looking like little postage stamps out there, and then to be able to, a new vocabulary has come up, mute yourself, unmute yourself. I have a fear when we go back to school, people would barely say, could you please be quiet? You'll say, please mute yourself. And, or children, older kids switch off their camera and, they just disappear. So that's a new form of bunking that's happening. So those are challenges which educators are facing. But by and large, what we did was we didn't want to assume how is a class going. So particularly from 6th upwards up to the senior school, we've been taking very regular feedback. I think the feedback mechanism has given us such deep insights, and feedback is not once a week. It's after every lesson on 6 very defined, 5 to 6 very defined parameters. Was the discipline okay? What were your takeaways? What did you learn? Was the lesson engaging? And that has helped us improve. Actually, as educators, we are also sailing while building the ship. But after 7 weeks, I can say with conviction and confidence that we have moved from surviving to thriving. From just barely digital literacy to some digital Harvards. We have done reunions for children. Children were missing friends. They were missing when, a bit of shuffling happens, sections change, and there are reasons for that. So in school, when they walk the corridor, they can see their friends from different sections. But here they just couldn't. So when we were cognizant of that, and also the requests came. So there have been reunions, there have been other things that have happened where old teachers who were their previous class teachers have come and met the new group. Interestingly, learning outcomes and skill building instead of content pushing should be the focus for online teaching. Don't push the content. Don't make sea changes. But look at certain outcomes that should be there after this concept has been taught. What are the skills that children should have after knowing about this area of problem solving? And we've been fortunate because we have such robust art and sports culture in our school that recorded asynchronous videos have been going home where children can actually do 30 minutes of very, very considered exercise, which will give them a certain benefit, which are detailed there. Music, theater, dance, art, craft, all those, that gamut of experience we didn't want to stop, because through online teaching, an apprehension was that we will only be addressing the cerebral. Whilst that is not what education is about. Education, as we all know, is holistic. Our counseling team still continues. We've closed for summer, if close is any word anymore. School has now become like an idea in the head. As you very beautifully said, Dr. Gaurav, that office is in the house, school is in the house, parent is in the house, child is in the house, and literally dog, parrot, cat, everything is in the house. What a moment what a moment to build relationships. Let's not blow the crisis away. It's a big lesson. You see, resilience is not learned in good times. It's only and only learned through failure and adversity. There's I forget his name. I think his name is Nicholas Westers, a very eminent child psychologist. And I like to quote him. He says, living with uncertainty and discomfort is becoming developmentally healthy. So yes, there is high degree of uncertainty. This is a very dangerous time. But when have sleep cycles of children not troubled educators? In my 30 years of experience, this issue has always come up. Parents of children up from 10 upwards have always said, मेरा बच्चा टाइम से नहीं सोता है, लेट सोता है, गैजेट के साथ होता है, खाना टाइम से नहीं खाता है, good food नहीं खाता है, screen is there, and obesity has been a challenge for more than 10 years. I think Dr. Saurabh is an authority on that and would perhaps validate what I'm saying. What this moment has done, it has amplified these problems.
Yes. And, yeah, so I completely agree. And we have questions pouring in. I'll come back to you for the last question, where I want to ask you that when these coveted schools will start living with Corona. That would be my next question.
Sure, when the school opens.
Yeah, I'll go to Dr. Bala here. Dr. Bala, there is one question which has come. There's so much of focus on online screens, phones. How do you protect your children from cyberbullying or from sexual assault or from overexposure? So what is your advice on that one?
Okay, first of all, we need to understand, like sometimes when we are continuing this pandemic, just as per the guidelines, normally the guideline says that like after 5 years, you can allow them to watch only for 2 hours. But sometimes guidelines are the guidelines. But just imagine, I don't think so any child is watching only for 2 hours around this period, including my children, because sometimes if we have to do the other steps. So even I heard some of the parents came to me, they are depressed, they are anxious because they couldn't control their kids' behavior. Then when I looked into the trigger, I found that when they are asked, when the parents ask them to stop TV after 1 hour, 2 hours, they showed the tantrum. Then it becomes more problem for both parents and the child regarding the managing the behavior. So just I simply advise to them, it's okay. Sometimes we can be flexible for following the guidelines, as long as if you are not allowing them to watch for 6, 7 hours, 8 hours. If you limit them, it's okay to have extra 1 hour. So just I would like to mention this point. The parents, sometimes if something is creating stress for you, the guidelines can be broken a little bit, but not too much. You can do the follow. But at the same time, whether the children are getting online education or are they playing with online games or are they chatting with their friends, it's an exposure to gadget. Then obviously they are going to see other things only. So generally, the parents needs to protect the kids. The first tip is allow the children to use any gadgets in the living room, not in the separate room. If they lock the room, if they go into that room, they tend to check any other website. So that is really, really important. So that even if you walk along, you can just slightly look at them, what are they watching. So it will be under control. Then after every day or once a week, you could just go back and check it, like their view history, what they have seen and all these things. Then many of us know that for primary school kids or the high school kids, you can only allow watch only YouTube kids YouTube channel. You can put the control over it. And also, I think some of the softwares are available to limit the gadget usage time as well, so they could use it. Then other thing is, I wouldn't recommend the parents to allow their school kids to be active in any of the social media. Until they go to college, until they become 18, they should not have any social media account, like any WhatsApp or Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. Don't allow them. Because if you allow them, obviously they tend to get more likes. They will just give a request for even strangers. Then they'll put a status. Then that's really, they'll put them into trouble. So just a simple point, don't allow your school going kids to have individual account. If they want to see some of the things, okay, you can show your thing. But again, I wouldn't encourage them to participate by saying happy birthday in Facebook or Instagram. Just if they really, for the close people, like this is how we mentioned about the life skill as well. We need a friendship, we need to make a close circle, then we need to help each other, we need to enjoy. But we don't need 100 friends. If we have 5 friends, directly we just makes the child to phone the close friend and ask them to say happy birthday or ask them to chat with them. But don't allow the child to chat in their any social media. I think many kids, what are they doing? Every time they are saying that, oh, I'm checking only the homework. But I'm sure now I think, okay, the teachers are doing the online. But otherwise, the schools just, they send only the homework. It is 5 minutes is enough to check what it is there. Then after that, you can tell them to do. They don't have to keep that phone open for nearly 3 hours, 4 hours. So you need to control it. Then other thing is, don't give the separate mobile phone to your kids. But I think in this pandemic lockdown, it's really difficult. Some of them we are giving it, but even if you give it, make sure you limit the internet usage, or that shouldn't have any like separate mobile phone. Like especially the teenagers, no, they get into trouble because they call someone, they get into relationship. Like even in, I think Delhi, the locker room, boys locker room incident, no, it's happened because of this. Instagram has started by the particular group of students. So this is mainly due to, because we need to supervise the children. If we identify that one child has opened the Instagram, if we check it after 2 days, we can allow them to close it. So the many cyber crimes have been stopped if the parents, if we check them equally, then if we have the rules. And the other thing is, I think all parents have to work together, because even my kids, I have a teenage child, then he is asking me, why can't I have a separate Instagram book or like ID or something, because others are all having it. So this is the reason, like, don't compare it with the peer group. Everyone should behave well. Like what we do it in COVID, no, we need to, everyone follow the social distance. The similar to things, I think all the parents should cooperate within it. Then, and also I would advise them to not to encourage like showing the photos or making comments and all these things. So that they can just, if they want to talk to them, they can phone them, or they can do the video call and separately they can talk to them. And also it's really important to talk to the child regarding the consequence. Like if you talk to the stranger, what would happen? Like 10-year-old, 11-year-old, if you put simple status, I'm living in, or they are sharing their location. So if the parents have gone out, someone can knock the door, then it will be a danger. So we need to tell them, then also we need to tell them like their photos. We need to stop them to putting their pictures on the social media as well, because they can be changed into different things. They can go into the other pornogram website and all. We don't have to scare them, but at the same time, we need to tell them like, this is not safe. You can't do this. You can't talk to stranger even through the online. So this is a solid rule. We have to make them. But then other thing is, if some of the children, they try to do it without knowing the parents, but once they get into trouble, then we should be very open to the child. Okay, in case if you have got a trouble, if you have got the threatening messages, like bullying messages, it's all, they're all receiving it. So feel free to tell me, I'm here to help you. I'm not going to scold you. I'm not going to hit you. So we should give the trust to the children. If they are under trouble, then they should believe that the parents are there to help me. But if they think that no, they're not going to understand me, they're going to scold me, they're trying to hide it. So as long as when they hide it, they're going to create a more problem. So we should always tell this kind of the bullying chances and how it can be affected their whole life, not only their life, the whole family's life.
Thank you, Dr. Bala. I think that was really, really, really very helpful. We have already crossed 21 minutes beyond our 1 hour thing. So one last question in the last 3 minutes of the session. We have reached to more than 7,200 people now. So Anju, tell me that what is the future now? Is online going to stay? Is it again coming back? Online gaya, brick mortar wapas aa gaya, a mix of it. How social distancing will happen? I was reading that for 6 feet, आपको एक desk पे एक बच्चे को बिठाना पड़ेगा. Now that you just can't increase the size of the classes. So what is going to be the new normal for the schools?
I think, Dr. Gaurav, that question of how will schools open is something that is staring at all principals and school management at the moment. And while closing the school was just the turning of a key, opening of school is not going to be just the turning of a key. It's going to be a very complex, very, very complex exercise while looking at risk versus rewards. You know, yes, schools do need to open at some point of time. Recently, the HRD ministry has hinted, has clearly said, actually, not hinted, July as being the month for grade 8 to 12, but is saying please await guidelines from NCERT and UGC. So we are also looking forward to those guidelines. That said, WHO put out some guidelines of how schools should open. UNICEF put out some guidelines of how schools should open. And recently, IIM has put out a mathematical model of how schools can actually function in this absolutely high-risk situation. Whereby they say that you could bring in students, half the class on a particular day, the rest of the class can continue with online teaching, demarcate certain areas. But there are more questions today than answers. Whilst we as educators in Shiv Nada School, as well as across the length and breadth of this country and outside, are discussing this, there is time to plan. And there will have to be very, very strong, robust SOPs put into place. You know, planning, then absolutely precautions and prevention. This would have to be very much in place. We'd have to do a whole simulation exercise before we get the children into school, which means some teachers, some of the administrators, some of us going and actually simulating the whole situation of what the school would look like. It's not just about bringing children to school. Schools are huge machineries. There's support staff, there are janitors, there are transporters, if you serve meals, there's the whole kitchen staff, there's dining room. So strengthening of the infirmary, training everybody. And apart from training, coaching, where everyone is cognizant of the processes that we are currently discussing and making a white paper on it for our school in communication with other schools also, is to not allow the stigma of having got the disease. To have respect and empathy for any child or anybody, any member in his family. You know, that is becoming an area of concern.
Thank you, Anju. I think you've said it very well. The question lies in the answer lies in the future also with all the questions.
And hybrid will carry on. I can tell you that.
Online is not going. Corona is not going anywhere. Online is not going anywhere.
Hybrid.
Hybrid is the way forward, right? Yes. We'll have to live with the online hybrid models and Corona. And I think that's what it is. Thank you all the panelists. Thank you so much. I think we have had great interaction and great attendance. And this is the first time that we have spent 25 minutes beyond the time which was scheduled for it. Thank you, Dr. Bala. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Anju, for your kind presence here. And I wish that all the children and all the parents who were part of the audience or will be part of the audience of this webinar learn and have a lot of take-home message. Dr. Bala was very, very eloquent in telling how things can be handled, especially again on the online and the cyber things. I learned a lot of things which I'm going to take home. So again, we'll carry on this series of webinars. We'll come back next Thursday again with another interesting topic for our viewers. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.